Today, I'm reacting to your most inspiring gaming setups. Let's get into the first one. This one caught my eye for something special. Now, this is Walter's setup. Now, he's 15 years old out of California. He's a student out of California, and his favorite games are The Crew, Forza Horizon 5, and Spider-Man. His previous setup was just, he's been accumulating parts for this setup for the past 3 to 4 years, and it only started getting seriously good within the past year. It took about a summer or two to make it better, and he redesigned his whole room. What inspired him to build his current setup is GutzyAiden, thank you, and TechSource doing all these different setups. He got really inspired by seeing other people's setups, and he wanted to build his own in his own way. He built a setup for something he didn't want to miss out on anything. He wanted to make sure when he sits down, he can game, he can work, he can 3D render, and he could stream, or if anything else he wanted to do. The one thing that played a big part into building the setup is to look the way it does. He wanted to have a creative space to do everything he wanted to do and make it unique from other people, and he could just vibe in it as well. He started in the summer of 2022. He finished the setup around the beginning of school for 2022. So it was about a summer to build his entire setup, which is great. He afforded this setup by accumulating everything for the last 3 to 4 years, and his mom has always been super insistent that she pays for everything for all the furniture. So desks, chairs, all that stuff. She's been a really good parent for her whole life, and I got the PC as a graduation gift in middle school. Awesome. Congrats for that. He built the setup, the whole thing by himself mainly, but his mom was always a helping hand when you needed her, especially when he built a custom loop for his PC. Off of the bat, he was greeted with this really nice corner setup. We've got the Echo 8 or something like that on top of here, where he ran the cable through a raceway and then painted like a little stripe thing next to it, which I think is really cool. Also on the right side, I love that you did like this little cork coaster with the Govee light on that. I think that's a really neat, unique touch. Cable management's great. Looks very tidy, mounted to the bottom of the desk as well. Amazing. I love this PC. I think he was doing the AIO as what he's talking about for the loop thing. On top of that, I love that you stick consistent with the PC. Vertical mounted GPU, cables are routed perfectly. Colors are all the same. And then here's the whole room. The attention to detail here with the stack and all the personality here, and the light bar as well, and the Nanolise as well. Man, the whole room is just beautiful. I think it's a 10. This video is sponsored by GutzyAiden.com, my very own mousepad company. In this video, we're giving away a mousepad to one lucky subscriber. So subscribe right now and comment when you're done. Back to the video. Luke's setup is insane. I'll show you guys, and you guys aren't gonna believe how old he is. He is 13 years old, located out of Georgia. His main game is Valorant, Fortnite, and Assetto Corsa with the race wheel as well. His previous setup had a 7-foot desk that he felt like he kept getting too cluttered, so he went to a 6-foot. What inspired him to build this current setup is how much you've grown in just the last couple of years, and your story and how you started your mousepad business. Thank you so much for supporting. He built a setup for gaming, streaming, and some schoolwork. He revamped his setup about a month ago. It took him about 3 years to save up for everything. He saved up from chores, birthday money, Christmas, and his dad helped out a little bit as well. He built the setup entirely by himself, and his future plans is to get some cable mod cables for his PC. For 12 years old, man, this is insane. I mean, off of the bat, thank you for supporting the mousepad. Appreciate you. Also, I just love that you've got this open desk. You got the 2 monitors up top, vertical, really clean. Leaves space on both sides of the desk. Love it. The keyboard and mouse combo, it looks like you have a productivity mouse, which I love that mouse as well. Also, I love that you got the black and blue keycaps, you know, matches everything, which you got to get a space bar. But also the PC, I can see why you want new cables. Overall, love this though. I think that the Lian Li case is a great case, but it's overused a little bit. It's a hard rating. I would say it's probably a solid 9. The next setup is by Cash. Now, Cash's setup is really interesting because it's, you know, screw the personality, screw all the having all this stuff. Let's just go back to the basics. He is 13 years old. His occupation is a soccer ref, so he makes a little bit of money there to afford his setup, and he's located out of Minnesota. His main game is GTA and Boneworks VR, and his previous setup was just an old laptop that could not run Minecraft or Fortnite. What inspired him to build his current setup is he wanted to be minimalistic and clean, away from everyone else. He built the setup for schoolwork and video games as well, and he built the setup during 2020. It took about 2 years to save up for all the products you see in the setup, and it took a little bit of time to build it as well. His dad helped him build the setup because he knows a lot about building desks and, you know, setting this all up, and he also built his PC by himself. His future plan is to upgrade to a 34-inch ultra wide because his monitor is 24 inches and 70 hertz. We can just tell by looking at this that this is just a beautiful one monitor, very, very single, clean, insane setup. I love going down to the basics, and I just love the attention to detail. The room is all just very clean, minimal, and I love it. I think for the most part, man, this is really, really nice. There's not really anything out of place. Here's the cable management. It's pretty decent. The Signum rack just holds everything up. For 13 years old, and just to have this clean and nice setup, I would say this is probably like a 9.5. This is Lucas's setup. He is a 12-year-old out of Germany. His occupation is delivering newspapers, and his main games are Valorant, CSGO, and Ream Royale. His old setup was just an Xbox 360 and a laptop, which is crazy upgrades here. What inspired him to build his current setup is GutzyAiden's videos. Thank you. I appreciate that. He built a setup for gaming, school, and music. That's dope. So he makes music. That's cool. Okay, so he built a setup for 2 years, and it took him about 3 months to completely build it out. So he stayed up for it for 3 years, and then he finished it in 3 months once he had the money for it. Dope. He afforded his setup by mini jobs, Twitch, and his birthday. Dang, made some money off Twitch. Nobody helped him build his setup by him, and he made it all by himself. His future plans for his setup is to be a Twitch streamer, have a third monitor, and have some more things after Christmas. Cool. I love the little mini form factor PC. On top of that, here's the whole room. Love the aesthetic. Like, for 12 years old, this is really solid. I mean, you got your PC, you got both monitors, you know, you stream on Twitch, you got all of that. I think you did a really good job of what you had. I love the color scheme too. I think you did a really good job on this icy blue type of theme for his age and how like well it's put together and a little bit of personality behind him. I would say it's probably like an 8.5. Moving on to the next setup here. This is Morty's setup. He is 14 years old out of Israel. His main game is Valorant, and his previous setup was just a MacBook and a cheap keyboard. And what inspired him to build his current setup is me and TechSource, so thank you. He built a setup for gaming and productivity, and he built the setup about 2 months ago. He afforded a setup by saving up from birthdays and Christmases. He built the setup by himself because he wanted to do some gaming since he got a gaming PC. And the future plans for his setup is to get a new desk and basically making a new area and more cozy of a feel. He would like to remake it since it doesn't really feel as cozy right now. I think it's underneath a bed. I also love how there's like mini shelves in here, and you kind of like showcase the like shoes there, and your PC fits pretty snug in there, and you got some art on top of it and stuff like that. I love the wallpaper. It just like, I love the contrast you add. Here's your keyboard and mouse too. I think you could use a new mouse pad too. Definitely, I love the color scheme you're going for. I think over time it would be really nice to center this. Personally, I would rate this a 7. This is George's setup. He's 13 years old, and his occupation is school and gaming. He's located out of the UK, and his main game is Apex Legends. His previous setup was very cramped and a very small desk, so he decided to build this space. His main inspiration to build this setup was me and TechSource, so thank you. And what he built his setup for is gaming. He built the setup about 6 months ago, and it took him about 2 months to build it entirely. He afforded his setup by birthdays and Christmases, and he built the setup by himself. His main plans in the future for this setup is upgrading his GPU. Dude, off of the bat here, I love this color scheme, this red and black with the hints of white. All of it just matches and is very nice. I haven't seen a lot of red setups recently, but when done right, I think they do really well. I also love like all the little red accents like from the keyboard, which I love the font on these. This is really cool. I love the font on those. From the red on the glow of the keyboard to the red on the glow of the mouse. And on top of that, the red Lego card that you have sitting there. All of it just matches from every little thing. It just is great. The KO management isn't awful, which is great. I love how you attempted to do some KO management. The only thing I would recommend to maybe clean it up just a little bit is some raceways in front of the power strip as well. Yeah, I would say it's probably like a 6.5. If you enjoyed that video, watch this one next. And don't forget to follow the Twitch down below. See you there.